former NHL coach, former NHL player Bruce Boudreau. He joins us here on the Sports Cage. Bruce, thanks for making some time. I bet you. How pumped are you? You're coming to Saskatchewan.
Can't wait. It's been my dream come true. No, listen, I love Saskatchewan. Bob Woods, my good friend, was a coach there for junior, and it's. I was there last year, as a matter of fact, and enjoyed it.
All the guys you've coached. So you mentioned Bob Woods. All the players you coached. I mean, we know you coached Getzlaf, right?
Yeah.
Is there a Sasky guy that, kind of, maybe he wasn't the best player, maybe he wasn't a Getzlaf, he wasn't scoring goals for all that, but just that gritty, that guy that kind of, he had a piece of your heart?
Well, I don't know if it's from guys that I coached, but a good friend of mine is a guy I played with, two of them, Tiger Williams, and Barry Melrose, both from Saskatchewan. So, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of guys that everywhere you go, you come through and they played in Saskatchewan or they grew up in Saskatchewan. Brooks Lake is another one that I coached that is from Regina. And the names will keep coming back. Once you start talking about them, you go, oh, yeah, he was from Saskatchewan too. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, there's nothing more perfect than a player from Saskatchewan when you think about the prairies and everything else that you got to go through. If you're coaching and you're drafting, you want a guy from that area of the world because you know that they've got hard work in their veins and they're ready to play.
Boyd Gordon from Unity, Saskatchewan. There's, just so many guys like that.
Kevin Kaminski.
Killer.
Killer's a good friend of mine, and his name just got brought up before dinner here. So, I mean, it's like, again, names that you just start thinking. I think Garrett Mitchell, who played for the Bears, is from Saskatchewan. So there's tons of them.
What for you and Arash Madani, he hyped it up. He said twice, you have a million stories. He used million. So you got a lot of stories. And then I started going through Bruce Boudreau, and I'm like, the coaching thing. I go back. I'm born in 77, so it's before my time. But you played with the Leafs, 76, 77. I watched that Boreas Salming documentary and got a sense of Harold Ballard and all that. Mm-hmm. Do you have, in all your million stories, do you have any good Harold Ballard stories?
Well, you know what? It's funny because we used to charter back then, and I always thought that he liked me. I didn't know if he did or if he didn't, but you'd like to think that I was a Toronto Marlboro and we won 2 Memorial Cups. So, and he owned the team. You'd think he'd like me, but he always called me Pat Boutette. He never called me. He thought I was Pat Boutette. And so, and Pat Boutette was a regular on the team. So I never wanted to tell him different because I thought, if you like Pat Boutette, then he's going to keep me. I won't be the guy that's being called up and sent down every night. But I mean, that's a Harold Ballard story. But I mean, the best ones are when I'm with Gordy Stellick and when Gord starts talking, because he worked right in the office with Harold and saw all the weird stuff that he did. So, but there was plenty of them, and the older you get, the more weirder you realize that Harold was when he was an owner. Like
he slept in the rink. He slept in the office.
Exactly. Him and King Clancy. Okay, God rest both their souls. In that they would sit at the front of the plane, and they certainly remind you when you'd have to walk by them. That's when you'd say, "Hey, Pat, good game, Booter," and I'd go, "Okay, fine." And but. They remind you of the two Muppets that sit up in the balcony, just giggling to themselves. Like that's what they were like when you walked on that plane.
You mentioned that you guys chartered back then. You must have been one of the few teams, because traveling in the NHL back in the 70s is nowhere near what they're doing nowadays.
No, it's a far cry. It was always a little plane that could just barely fit your your 23 players, or your coach. It was probably about a 40-seater plane, whereas now they get the big planes. You got different sections, one for media, one for the trainers, one for the coaches, one for the players. So it's quite different what they do, and the meals are so much different. I don't, I mean, if we were to get a chocolate bar on the trip, that would be great. But nowadays, they already know what you want after the game, because um, they and when you get on the plane, your meal is waiting for you, all individual meals. So it's pretty crazy what the difference between now and when I started playing in the
Yeah,
NHL.
definitely. And when you go back and your playing days and your minor pro and pro, and then maybe even your early days of coaching, who was the coach that you maybe learnt the most from now that you look back?
It's a great question. I think with me, I think the guy you learned the most from is I'll preface it by saying this. There's about 6 coaches I've had that I tried to take something from every one of them, and I thought they were all brilliant. And Roger Nielsen was probably the smartest coach. Him and Andy Murray were very detail oriented and tremendous. Then you had George Armstrong and Jr., who was the guy you wanted to emulate, because the players didn't. When we lost, we were afraid that we were disappointing him, so we didn't want to lose. And so I wanted to be that kind of coach that knew what I was talking about, but the players wanted to play for you so bad that they would go through a brick wall for you. That was sort of my thing. But I mean, I've had the good ones. I've had the old style coaches that, boy, I mean, if you turn around, they're going to shoot you. You've seen them a lot in Western Canada Junior, when I was playing. They were always there. Like, I mean, the tougher than tough coaches, and it was crazy. So, hey, here's another name, Rod Dahlman. He's from Saskatchewan. I played with him in Springfield, and him and I think Mick Bakota was. I don't know if
Yeah,
he's from
yeah,
Saskatchewan
he
too.
is.
But I mean, they both got. They were my wingers, and they both got 400 minutes in penalties. They couldn't score or skate. But boy, you didn't want to bother me, because I had the greatest cavalry in the league, so it was great.
I can't wait for the event coming up at the Royal Regina. A couple of tables available. I'm going to be there, Bruce. Arash
Oh, good.
owes me a number of pints over bets throughout the year. The one thing that we have in common, you played with him. He briefly coached me in junior in Pittsburgh as Steve Carlson from the movie
Oh,
Slapshot.
yeah.
We'll all
Hmm.
remember that. So Arash says you got a number of Slapshot stories because you were involved in that movie in a number of ways.
Yeah, well, I was in it. I was lucky, or unlucky enough. The Minnesota Fighting Saints folded, and I went back down to Johnstown, which was their farm club, just at the time they were making the movie. So it was pretty interesting, quite frankly. The stories you can tell. There's a lot of stories you can't tell, but I mean, the stories that you can tell. Like, I mean, funny things like the one day. George Roy Hill came in and he says, "Okay, I need a scene today." It's a big difference between making movies back then and making now. He says, "I need a scene today. We need an apartment that's really sloppy and messy and just sort of worn down." And everybody stood up and pointed to me. Like, I mean, and so we used my apartment in the movie, where Paul Newman is lying on the bed with the dog and everything else, and that's my apartment. Pretty proud of it, but for $50 a month, I wasn't getting much more than what you saw was the bed and the kitchen.
Because I asked her, Ash told me the story. He's like, yeah, they used his apartment in the movie, and I'm like when he's got the towel over his head and he's trying to get a nap, and Killer
Yeah.
calls him and says, "I want that bounty," and then and the dog's in there. So that was your apartment. Like, what a crazy story. Did I read this correctly? You're the owner of a couple of junior hockey teams.
Yeah, here in Pennsylvania, in Hershey, we we own a couple of. I would call them, I mean, junior B to junior C teams,
Mhm.
and well, there's a junior C team that feeds the junior B team, and Yes, but I mean, I don't do much. I mean, I tell my wife I'm just the eye candy for this thing. My one son coaches it. My wife's the president and GM. So when we don't make the playoffs, I blame them. I just say, hey, listen, that's all you guys right now. I'm just sitting here. But it's fun. It's fun. I mean, being involved in hockey. I mean, we have our hockey school in 2 weeks in Canada that we've had for 40 years. So, I mean, it's all I know or do. So it's created a lot of fun stories and a lot of good times to go along with the bad times. I thought you were going to say, we got some things in common, that you got fired by Vancouver too, but I didn't go that far. So, I mean, I guess I guess you were one of the fortunate ones that didn't get to Vancouver.
No, I only get fired in Saskatchewan. I keep it.
Yeah.
I keep it in the 306. What's your take? What's your take before I go any further on the NCAA and now the major junior kids being able to come down, and then Gavin McKenna allegedly signing or getting that kind of money, however he's going to get it?
It's a great question, and I think it's going to completely ruin everything. I mean, college hockey isn't going to be college hockey anymore, and it's not. And junior hockey, if you're good and you don't think you can gain anything by staying, whether it's your draft year or your year after your draft, you're going to go somewhere else. So I think it's going to ruin junior hockey, and I hope they find a solution to it soon, because the Gavin McKennas of the world are what put people in the building, and I mean, to only get to see him for 1 or 2 years when he was a 15 and 16-year-old is not right. And I mean, I think Penn State offered him $700,000, so you can't blame.
I think we unfortunately got cut off. Did we get cut off? So we'll get him back another time, Colson. That's okay. He probably lost. He's back. We got it. Oh, we lost. You see,
yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Okay, so and just people that were going to come to this event, you seem like anybody that's seen you, doing your post coaching hockey analysis, and you're on pods and this and that, and Gord Stellick. What are people going to? Why should people come that night, Bruce?
Well, to have to support. To support the event is one big thing. I think it'll be entertaining. It has been in the past. Me and Arash have done a few of these, and they've been great fun times. But I think the people that go there are going to have a great time, and they're going to support a great cause. So it's I think if you're not doing anything on, what is it, 27th, 28th of August, come on down. Let's talk stories, because the one thing I do know now that I'm sort of retired is I don't have to hold back when I don't like somebody. So, I mean, I can say what I feel, and it's sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing.
Our producer Colson's got the question hat on. I think he's got a question for you.
Hey, Bruce.
Hey.
Arash told me earlier to ask this question to you. So when Wayne Gretzky was blowing up your phone about making a trip to Edmonton, something like that.
Yeah.
You got a story for us about that?
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, and I've told the story a couple times, but if I tell it to you now in 7 minutes, then I won't be able to tell that story at the thing, because it's a pretty funny story, and it's sort of, Wayne Gretzky's my hero, and one of the great things about sports is I didn't realize he even knew who I was, but I was sort of his hero growing up because I'm about 4 years older than him. And so he watched me play all the time. But it's a great story, and I'm sure I will be telling it on the evening of the 28th.
That's what we call in the biz a tease. So now we get those last two tables sold, and then people can hear that story on the 28th. Bruce, thanks for doing this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to meet you. Are you going to be golfing? Are you coming in? Are you going to be golfing the day before? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be golfing the day before. I think I'm coming in the day before.
Okay.
And then, so
we'll hang out.
I don't think Arash didn't tell me about the golf thing. So, I mean, he just told me about the dinner thing.
Okay, we'll grab some pints. It'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much, Bruce, and we'll see you next month.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.